What's up, y'all? My name is Jaquan. Today I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I came up with this whole Be Phenomenal thing. So what I do is I teach people how to discover their best selves through fitness and health. So I know that sounds like a good, catchphrase or whatever, but I am real into fitness. I like working out, but I really like the byproduct of it. So I'm not into training people who are bodybuilders. I like the everyday person to feel good about themselves so they can become better persons. When you start getting better physically and taking better care of yourself, you start treating yourself better and start treating the world better, so you become a better leader, better parent. So I want to help you become your best self through fitness and health. It's a little bit of backstory of what I do, but I want to give you a backstory of why I do what I do and why you should even listen to me, what gives me the expertise to tell this. A little bit of background about myself. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm born and raised, and grew up in a two-parent household, but I like to say I was raised in the hood. And both my parents, they didn't go to college. Mom has a GED, my dad didn't walk on stage, so I didn't come from a family who were well off or anything like that. And I bring that up because your economic status and your health kind of goes hand in hand. So I didn't see people growing up working out, going to the gym, eating healthy. If you're a minority, you know that we eat to celebrate. Everything that we do, we have in plates. Now, I was never obese or super heavy, but I was actually skinny fat. So people looked at me and they're like, "Oh man, how come you don't, get another plate? What's wrong with you?" But most of my family had high blood pressure, diabetes, obese, and I just seen this all the time. Now that I'm older and I realize it, I'm like, man, it seems like every year it was people dying of, diabetes, high blood pressure, everything, just all kind of issues. And I'm like, man, what I wanted as a child was just to kind of get out of that environment. Not only we're unhealthy physically, but also in our finances as well. There's no one really, striving or making an impact or making money or doing anything at all. So I had a deep feeling inside of me. I know a lot of people watching this can relate. It's I want something different. I know I'm in this environment right now, but I just want to, I want to live a phenomenal life, and I don't want what's around me. I was a pretty good student in school, so I ended up going to Arizona State University. And through the process, I was still feeling the same way. I was still in the same environment. I was like, man, I just gotta get there somehow. I was searching for things to improve myself, to make myself better. And that's when I first started picking up fitness. As I was doing this, a company, they were running around trying to get college kids to join an MLM program. And it was actually called Verve. Ended up being a scam. You can look it up online. But they had good seminars and they had good speakers. One speaker I remember to this day was Eric Thomas. He actually came to Tempe, Arizona, and gave out a speech. It might have been 30, 40 people in there. He came and spoke to us. He gave a really good speech. I talked to him afterwards and I had a good conversation. And that just showed me man, this is somebody who didn't grow up in the best environment, and he actually made an impact. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time. I started looking on his YouTube channel, and I was like, man, he always had a line that was be phenomenal or be forgotten. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. And then that resonated with me because I was the first one in my family to actually go to school. Being the first college student of your family, none of my family members, none of my cousins, I didn't have anybody to call to help me out. It's kind of hard to finish college when you're the first one. I was looking at his speeches and it kind of got me motivated. And I'm like, I started to believe it, be phenomenal or be forgotten. And then I kind of took his line. I stole it a little bit. This is where the word be phenomenal came from, because be fit, be phenomenal, you can put it together. So I came up with the Be Phenomenal because I was watching his videos. As I was going to school, my degree was in kinesiology and I minored in psychology. So I was working out and I was like, okay, I'm into fitness. Let me study kinesiology. I ended up getting into kinesiology because I played basketball in high school. I ended up hurting my knee. And I was like, I had to go to a physical therapist. And I was like, what do you do? And he was like, I went to school for kinesiology, kind of gave me a rundown. So I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do, go to school for kinesiology. But by the time I graduated, I had a choice. I can either start working a job or I can go to physical therapy school. Like I was saying, I was the first one in my family to actually go to college. So paying for undergraduate school is not cheap. So I was like, how in the world am I gonna pay almost 6 figures for a PT school? It's ridiculous, physical therapy school. So I ended up just opting out because I was like, I wanna start my own business. I wanna take a chance on myself anyways. So I started doing that. But I learned a lot through college and I learned a lot of strategies. So once I started working on myself and improving my health and fitness, I got a really good shape And what happens is once you start improving yourself, it affects everybody else around you. So my family members started noticing it. And I remember my aunt, she was like, can you train me? Can you work me out? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I got the knowledge now. I never trained anybody before. But she ended up losing like 60 pounds. And this is when I realized like how much of an impact of health and fitness can do. And I always say I want to help people discover their best self through fitness and health because of this one story. She was completely unhealthy, obese, high blood pressure, so many issues. But she started putting in the work, and then she lost about 60 pounds. And the best thing about that is not her own results, but how her children looked at her, her husband looked at her, and they also got on the train as well. So it was just like a big snowball effect. Once she started doing it, she has other sisters, my other aunts, they started getting involved, their kids. So my whole family, every time I used to come around, they're like, oh man, they're talking about workouts, they're talking about different foods. Well, this is something that we never talked about growing up. We didn't talk about working out, we didn't talk about eating healthy. What you do impacts so many other people. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm all about this now, let's go all in. So it just grew from there. So I started with her and I had another client. I got introduced to a trainer who had a gym and he let me partner with him inside of his gym. And it just grew and grew. And now I did small group and now I work with people online. So this is where I'm at now. I work with a lot of busy professionals who are all sitting down at their job. And I don't work with a lot of people who are, super athletes or people who are into bodybuilding shows. I like working with the regular average, I don't want to say average, but I like working with the regular professional, the regular parent, the regular dad who's trying to get back in shape, the regular mom who wants to get back to being healthy and so they can run with their kids again. So this is my passion and this is kind of how it came about it. Yeah, for the future, I just look on expanding. I have a program called the Body Confidence Blueprint Program. And what I do is I built a step-by-step system to help you get to your goals much faster. Over the years, I've been doing this for 10 years now. So over the years, I know exactly what works, what doesn't work. So what I did is I packaged all my strategy up and put it into a course format. So if I know for sure, if you follow these steps, you're going to get to your goals and it's going to accelerate it in a sustainable way. So that's just a little story about me, how I got into it. Make sure you comment below if you want to know more. And if you want to connect with me, I like connecting to people on a personal level. But yeah, this is pretty much my story. I want to tell you what I do, why I do it, and I'm looking forward to helping more people out. Thanks for taking the time and listening to my story. I hope it inspired you. I hope it resonated with you somehow. And if you're somebody who's looking at this and you might be like, man, that is me. Like I have, let my fitness go, or I'm not like the person I am that I want to be. And I just need a little bit of help and you resonate with me. Maybe we could schedule a call and we could chop it up and talk about it. So I'll put a link in the description and we can schedule a time to talk.